what they're doing is, okay, so why is Tucker doing it? Tucker's a very smart guy. You see me call other Republicans dumb all the time. I'm not at all shy about it, okay? But Tucker's very smart. And so does Tucker know he's crossing a line? Absolutely. What he's doing is, first of all, he's seeing how far he can go on Fox News because he knows the right-wing audience loves it. Remember, Tucker Carlson used to be, honestly, a ratings failure at CNN, MSNBC, and everywhere that he went. He had like 12 TV shows all across cable news, and every one of them failed. But when he started egging on the right wing to get angrier and angrier and more violent, that worked, and he became #1. So he's doing that for money and fame and power. But then the second reason is he thinks, this is now we're at my conjecture. All that was facts. My conjecture is he thinks, I'm gonna go so far until even Fox News has to fire me because I'm gonna break laws. And when I do, they're gonna get sued, just like happened with Dominion on the voting stuff. And when they fire me, perfect, then I'm the ultimate victim. I was #1 on cable, most popular, and then I became a victim, and then you run for office. You run for president. Okay.
We have a moral obligation to admit the world's poor, they tell us, even if it makes our own country poorer and dirtier and more divided. An unrelenting stream of immigration. But why? Well, Joe Biden just said it. To change the racial mix of the country. That's the reason. To reduce the political power of people whose ancestors lived here and dramatically increase the proportion of Americans newly arrived from the third world. In political terms, this policy is called the Great Replacement, the replacement of legacy Americans with more obedient people from faraway countries. They brag about it all the time, but if you dare to say it's happening, they will scream at you with maximum hysteria. And here you have Joe Biden confirming his motive on tape with a smile on his face. But I actually have a solution to California prison overcrowding, and I'm sure you would agree with it. A huge percentage of California inmates are foreign nationals. They're from Mexico and Central America. Why not deport them? If the majority of Americans think that our immigration levels are too high, and the polls show they do think that, then shouldn't we reduce those levels? Why don't we follow the lead of the public?
To what percentage would you say would be acceptable for you and for?
I don't know. How about when I was born, it was fine. It was a better country than it is now in a lot of ways. This may be a lot of things, this moment we're living through, but it is definitely not about Black lives. And remember that when they come for you, and at this rate, they will. The only job training program this administration has gotten behind in 2.5 years is getting Black people to sell more weed in the cities, literally. We're legalizing weed, and we're gonna make sure the weed dispensaries have African-American owners. Ask yourself if it's fair because she identifies as a woman for her to claim victim status. And the answer is no, it's not fair, but it's exactly what they always do. You know, some teachers pushing sex values on your third grader. Why don't you go in there and thrash the teacher? Like, this is an agent of the government pushing someone else's values on your kid about sex. Like, where's the pushback? Trans ideology claims dominion over nature itself. We can change the identity we were born with, they will tell you with wild-eyed certainty. Christians can never agree with this statement because these are powers they believe God alone possesses. The trans movement is targeting Christians, including with violence. Most Christian leaders in this country don't want to admit that. Admitting it might force them to take deeply unfashionable positions.